In the year 2000, Amazon stock had lost 90% of its value. The company had burned through nearly $1 billion in cash. Analysts were publishing reports with one title, Amazon Bomb. Wall Street wasn't speculating anymore. They were certain. Amazon was going to die. What they didn't know was that one man had a plan no one saw coming. To understand how close Amazon came to extinction, you have to go back to where it started. 1994. A 30-year-old Wall Street analyst walks away from a six-figure salary to sell books out of a garage in Bellevue, Washington. Jeff Bezos had a theory. The internet was growing at 2,300% per year, and nobody had figured out how to sell things on it at scale. He believed he could be first. Amazon launched in July 1995. Within 30 days, it had sold books to customers in all 50 U.S. states and 45 countries. Bezos had no warehouse, no inventory system, and no blueprint. He was building the plane while flying it. By 1997, Amazon went public at $18 a share. The IPO raised $54 million. Wall Street loved the story. A new kind of company. No rules, no limits, pure potential. Then came the fever. The dot-com bubble of the late 1990s turned rational investors into gamblers. Money flooded into any company with a .com suffix. Amazon rode the wave harder than almost anyone. By December 1999, Amazon stock hit an all-time high of over $100 per share. The company's market cap approached $30 billion. Bezos was named Time magazine's Person of the Year. The world believed Amazon was unstoppable, but behind the headlines, the reality was brutal. Amazon was spending money at a rate that defied logic. In 1999 alone, the company reported a net loss of approximately $720 million. It had never turned a profit, not once. Bezos had made a calculated bet: grow fast, capture market share, worry about profit later. He called it get big fast. Warehouses were built across the country almost overnight. Headcount exploded. Infrastructure costs soared. Amazon expanded aggressively into toys, electronics, tools, and kitchen products. It invested in or acquired dozens of other .com companies. Many of those companies were already secretly dying. Then March 2000 arrived, and the bubble burst. The Nasdaq Composite Index peaked on March 10th and began a collapse that would ultimately erase nearly $5 trillion in market value over 2 years. Investor sentiment flipped overnight. The question changed from how big can this company get to can this company survive at all? Amazon was no longer a visionary bet. It was a liability. In a now infamous research note, Lehman Brothers analyst Ravi Surya issued a blistering warning about Amazon in June 2000. He argued the company's bond situation was deteriorating rapidly and that it faced serious questions about its ability to continue operating. The report sent Amazon stock into freefall. From its peak of over $100, the stock plunged. By late 2001, it would bottom out at around $6 per share. A 94% collapse, billions of dollars in shareholder value gone. Inside Amazon, the mood was described by former employees as one of controlled panic. The company reportedly had enough cash to survive only through the middle of 2001. After that, the math didn't work. This was the turning point. Bezos faced a choice that would define not just Amazon but the entire future of e-commerce. He could keep spending, hoping the market recovered in time. Or he could do something that went against everything he had publicly preached. He chose survival over vision. In January 2001, Bezos announced a dramatic restructuring. Amazon would lay off approximately 1,300 employees, roughly 15% of its workforce. It would close a distribution center in Georgia and a customer service center in Seattle. But the layoffs were only the beginning. Bezos also brought in a new chief financial officer, Warren Jensen, a veteran from Delta Air Lines and NBC. Jensen's mandate was simple and merciless: find every dollar being wasted and cut it. The internal audit was eye-opening. Amazon had been building warehouses for maximum capacity, not efficiency. Inventory management was chaotic. The cost to fulfill a single order was, by some internal estimates, unsustainably high. Bezos and Jensen introduced a metric that would become central to everything Amazon did from that point forward: free cash flow, not revenue, not market share. How much actual cash does the business generate and keep? That number had to turn positive fast. They renegotiated supplier contracts aggressively. They overhauled the warehouse network for operational efficiency. They paused expansion into new product categories. The company that had once celebrated burning money was now obsessed with conserving it. There was a second decision that proved equally critical. Rather than retreat from technology, Bezos doubled down on it. Amazon's engineers were quietly building internal software tools to manage inventory, logistics, and computing infrastructure. Those internal tools were so powerful that Bezos began to see them differently, not just as cost-saving infrastructure, but as a product. A product other companies would pay for. That insight, born from crisis, would eventually become Amazon Web Services. The results of the restructuring were not immediate. Amazon reported another massive loss in 2000, approximately $1.4 billion for the full year. Critics used the number as confirmation. Amazon was finished. But by the fourth quarter of 2001, something unexpected happened. Amazon reported its first-ever quarterly operating profit. A modest $5 million, almost symbolic, but it was real. The bleeding had stopped. By the end of 2002, Amazon reported its first full-year net profit, approximately $35 million on revenues of $3.9 billion. The company that was supposed to be dead was now the last major dot-com standing. The competitors who had mocked Amazon's losses during the boom years, Petscom, Webvan, Cosmo.com, were gone, bankrupt, deleted from history. Amazon had survived the extinction event that killed nearly everything around it. Here is the lesson that most business schools still don't teach clearly enough. Hypergrowth without operational discipline is not a strategy. It is a countdown. The companies that survive crises are not the ones with the biggest visions. They are the ones willing to make brutal, humbling decisions before it's too late. Bezos once said that Amazon's success required being misunderstood for long periods of time. What he rarely said is that it also required being willing to tear the company apart and rebuild it while the world watched and laughed. Amazon's market cap today is estimated at over $1 trillion. Ours alone generates more operating profit annually than the entire retail business. It all traces back to one crisis, one restructuring, and one quiet bet on infrastructure that almost nobody noticed. If you want to understand how Apple nearly collapsed in 1997 and who actually saved it, that story is next. Subscribe for more hidden empires.